Hey folks, and welcome to Hey Adora, your queer She-Ra podcast. I'm Force Captain Meff, they, them.
And I am friend of Mara, Ashley, she, her, filling in for Princess Jenny as she is out on voice rest. But never fear, she will be back next episode.
And we are here to discuss The Beacon, or I'm Fine. I'm Fine. Directed by Leanne Hughes. Written by Catherine Nolfi. Storyboard by Mark Camelback, Mandy Clotworthy, Diane Hua, Angela Kim, and Sam Szymanski. Previously on She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, everyone was fucking sad.
So sad.
Right? Like, we were all very sad here. Everybody was very, very sad. And Etheria, we thought we lost Entrapta. Sad music, crying Adora all around.
And we're still sad when we start this ep.
We are still sad. Everyone is still fucking sad. Seahawk, the designated driver, is driving everybody. I wouldn't have made Seahawk a designated driver, but apparently,
because he is a pirate, right? So he sails ships. So why would he not sail the skiff?
Ooh, sail the skiff on the sea of the sky. Alliteration. But yeah, I guess that makes sense.
That, and he did probably like the least amount of work in that last episode, so like everyone's tired and exhausted, and he's like, "It's fine, I'll drive."
It's fine, I'll drive. All I did was be the inspector and yeet Kyle.
Yes.
And Kyle's like 60 pounds or something. So that's,
yeah,
for a strapping sailor, a Seahawk is probably not really it's like nothing,
Yeah, super easy to yeet.
Kyle is easy to yeet. I love that. That's it. Oh, dude, we should totally make that a t-shirt. Kyle, easy to yeet. But back to our skiff. So Seahawk's the designated driver. He's driving everybody through the forest. Everyone is wrecked. Of course, Adora is like, this is super my fault. And of course, Bo, our sweetheart of Etheria, Bo, is like, it's not your fault. And Adora's like, no, it is my fault. And then Mermista kind of gives us the heartbreaking. She gives us it's our fault because we were together, which, spoiler alert, Mermista, is the exact opposite of what the show is about.
Right. And I was actually honestly surprised that Perfuma agreed with her so quickly.
Yeah.
Because Perfuma is such like a positive force in the alliance. And so
Yeah, that's a really good point, because, and the exact words I have them here is Mermista's right. Being together makes us vulnerable. But she very, very, for the last, what is it? Is it failsafe or something? Where she's like, keep your heart open, and your vulnerability is what makes you strong. And it's like, oh, good job for a character arc, Perfuma.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting little take there. And, so, oh, how the turntables there. Togetherness is not what happened.
And then we have Glimmer coming in. Also, I know that in past episodes, y'all have talked about, she has good intent, but, her wording really needs a lot of work. And she says, you can't say that.
Right.
And that's a command. That's not saying, we shouldn't think like that, or, don't say things so negative like that. We have to stay positive. It's just, you can't say that.
Yeah. Which
is the wrong choice of words.
It's the exact, stop crying instead of, it's okay, what do you, because that's what she means, right? But of course, it's Glimmer. Glimmer's a hothead. Her emotional palette is different than others. And, when she's messed up, she tends to be a little more forceful. And I love this part because it's Seahawk is just such a good boyfriend here. Mermista's just I don't want to be part of this anymore. Take me home. Seahawk, take me home. And he just looks at her and he's like, you got it. Let's go home. And just the look that he gives her is just
anything you need.
Anything you need right now. I'm here for you. Right? Sure, he went through it with her, but he's here for her. And good boyfriend award, Seahawk.
Yeah. For sure.
Good boyfriend award. So go Seahawk. So, and then we kind of see, like, we have a visual montage here.
A sad one.
Ugh, it's so sad. Okay, a couple of things about this. One, the part where we see Mermista go in, it's not like it's symbolic, right? She goes in, she closes the gate, and she wraps herself in like a whirl, like a cyclone. And then it cuts immediately, it was this beautiful cut, to that same shape that we have of Perfuma, visually nodding to the fact that, Perfuma is also closing off, even though she's making like topiary sculptures of a fallen hero. But, the parallel there, the nod there, the movement there is that, everybody's closing themselves off. And then we go to Frosta, who wasn't even fucking there, right? But princesses talk,
Yeah.
And she does the same thing with her kingdom. She just closes it up. So
the whole castle, yeah, she really like closes everything out.
Yep, like that shit is on lockdown.
So then we go back to Bright Moon and we see them walking down the hallway.
Yep.
And we get to see Angela for the first time. And I have to say, I feel so bad for Angela.
Right?
This entire episode.
Right?
And I understand that Glimmer doesn't want her to see her glitching and that she feels like a failure and she's ashamed.
Right.
But her tone with Angela is awful. Like, she thought she lost her daughter. You could be a little bit nicer and still avoid her. Like, you don't have to be so mean, Glimmer.
I mean, I get that, but like, it also reminds me of like when you're like a teenager and your mom like, like she catches.
I know.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I know. I was Glimmer.
Yeah.
In some ways, I'm still Glimmer, so I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I just feel awful for Angela.
I know, me too. I think that's what being an adult is, right? Like,
I know, right?
Feeling how awful it is instead of like if you drink too much and you wake up the next morning and you're sick and your mom is like, I'm super glad you're not dead, but you're in so much fucking trouble, and you're like, whatever, Mom, I'm fine. Blah,
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
So yeah, Angela is just like, has been worried sick, super thrashed, like wants to know how her kid is. Glimmer is being, grumbly, I'm fine, like don't give me the attention, gronk, gronk, gronk. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that we kind of, the shot when they come in, we see the Bright Moon guards, and the shape is beautiful. They look almost like their cloaks and their hair with the plumage, they almost look like they're like eagles or falcons or some sort of like protective bird of prey that is like standing there, and also nods to, of course, like their queen is literally a fucking angel with wings, right? So like, so they look like they are wrapped in wings that are ready to open at a moment's notice for ass kicking. Taloning. I don't know. That's what eagles do, right? They talon.
Yeah.
Is that like
Sure.
Yeah, like that's totally a fucking verb that I didn't just make up.
Yeah. Looking majestic as fuck standing there.
Yeah, dude. Majestic fucking fucks.
Yeah.
So Glimmer's everything's fine. It's fine. It's great. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Glimmer says that throughout the entire thing. So I have a quote. I have actually a part of a quote around the word fine, which was sent to me by a sweetie today. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's from the poet Andrea Gibson. And the full quote is, "Let all the walls collapse at your feet. Scream timber when they ask you how you are. Fine is the suckiest word. It is the opposite of here."
Interesting.
So Glimmer's got to obviously read more poetry, but also it's very much get your ass educated. But also, like, it is Glimmer is the opposite of here. Every time she's fine, she's literally pushing people away. Like, and almost every time she says it, she glitches out, which we learn is actually hurts other people. Like when Bo goes to comfort her.
Right.
It's not just her. So she's literally pushing everybody out by saying she's fine, and is, obviously not fine.
Yeah, I actually wondered, rewatching this, if it was almost like related to stress.
Oh. Like
when she started glitching. Because like when she was calmer, it was fine. But like when she, there was something later that she did that stressed her out. I think it was like after they, were like trying to get in her bed and they couldn't reach it. And like, Adora was like, "You're getting worse," and then she glitched.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, when she's fighting with Angela, she glitches really hard.
Yeah.
And so then I started wondering if it wasn't, like, correlated to her mood.
Oh.
But, I mean, there's no other evidence other than my own, like, thought process.
Well, it's very interesting you said that, because when you were talking that through, it actually kind of sparked something in my brain that this is, another, So travel with me on this exploratory journey of Meff verbally processing an idea.
Let's go.
We have seen Adora's trauma made manifest, as shadows, right? So we've seen Adora's trauma, which is like a past trauma that was, the metaphor of it was the shadows. We've seen that. And we haven't seen Glimmer experience personally trauma before, like a major loss where she has to grieve. Like her father died
prior.
Right, before, so she doesn't really have like a memory of it. The trauma that she has is the trauma that's inherited from her mother for it. But in terms of having to grieve somebody, she's never experienced that. And here she is, not only having to grieve a friend, like a comrade and a friend, but also the guilt that's there. So this ties into what you were saying, because this is Glimmer's trauma manifesting, and it's not the trauma of the past following her. It's the trauma of the now kind of exploding out at everybody, right? Literally, like making her unable to perform her most base tasks. She can't teleport. She can't get upset. Like, these are like very Glimmer things. And every time she says and the way she handled it is very much how a lot of people handle their own trauma, where they say they're fine and they push it down inward, and you can only push it down for so long before it, completely glitches you out and fries you out.
I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah,
Not me personally.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're fine.
Nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So yeah, I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's keep an eye on that while we go through, because, like many of my theories, they could fall short, or like many other of my theories, they will be brilliant and lauded by the people. And if you love my theories, you can write to us at heyadoracast@gmail.com, because I love praise.
And we love emails.
We do love emails.
So I do think that this is a good plan that she has, though.
Which one?
I think it's understandable right away not wanting to tell Angela, and to wanting to go to recharge and see if that helps.
Right.
Get some rest, see if that feels better. No need to worry her.
Fair.
If it's going to be easily fixed.
That is fair.
So I do understand the initial intent of this, not telling Angela.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And, and Glimmer's also very proud, too. She's like, no, it's fine. Just let me deal with this right now.
Again, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't disagree. It's not the worst plan. And it's a very teenager idea to do it like that, too. But, like, she's,
a teen.
Yeah, she's a teen. She's also acts younger, too, so.
Right.
So Adora and Glimmer and Bo are talking. They're being best friend time. Glimmer's like, blah, blah, blah. Mom, I'm fine, whatever. Let me go hang out with my friends. God, jeez.
You're crushing me.
Why don't you leave me alone, Mom? God, slams door, And Glimmer's obviously in pain, but still won't tell, Adora and Bo that. And, Adora was there and was like, exposition Adora, Shadow Weaver did something to your powers. You can't teleport. And whatever that she did, it keeps happening. Glimmer doesn't want to freak her mom out. She can take care of it. She's fine. Everything's fine.
No worries.
Yeah, no worries. Everything's fine. She'll recharge. She'll stop glitching. Mom never has to know that anything bad happened to her. She doesn't have to worry. She has her own things to think about. She'll be fine. Now we're at the Fright Zone. And yeah, Hordak is chewing out Shadow Weaver.
Yeah, she's getting it.
Yep.
He says, all you did was invite attack from an enemy combat with detailed knowledge of our operations. If I had known, I would have never agreed to your foolish plan. And then we get fucking Catra and Scorpia. Catra being like, hey, yeah, bad plan. And Scorpia being like, wasn't that you? And Catra's like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up! because like Scorpia is like Scorpia's like we're kind of going on the theme of like, being delinquents in high school, right? It's Scorpia's like kind of the good kid that hangs out with the delinquents but doesn't understand that they're doing bad shit. They're like, maybe you should smoke over here, guys,
Yeah.
Like Scorpia, sweet baby Scorpia. Come on, man.
Is that marijuana you're smoking in the parking lot?
Oh my God, exactly. Hey guys, I heard we're gonna drink some beers tonight in the middle of like English class, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I love Scorpia.
I love her so much too.
She's so good.
Favorite character.
Oh, she's the best. So we're going to talk so much about Scorpia later because this is a great Scorpia episode. There's some great fucking Scorpia in this episode.
I feel like we might also need a Scorpia bonus ep.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Sweet baby Scorpia. I love it. Sweet baby Scorpia, gym teacher, best friend of the Horde. She's total gym teacher guy. She's like, hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
This is my dog. Let's do some sit-ups. Like,
Yes.
I love her. She's great. Like, why don't you come over to a cookout? Me and the wife are going to be making some burgers, but the wife's a vegan. Doesn't even say the word vegan. Like, my wife's a vegan, so she's going to make some portobello mushroom caps. It's like...
That was perfect.
I love you, Scorpia. You're such an amazing, amazing gym teacher lesbian. It's fucking great. But a big thing here is that Hordak learns that Adora is She-Ra, and that Shadow Weaver knew it the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And she tries to talk her way out of it. Yeah. She's like, this is why it was such a big deal for me to get her back here to the Fright Zone.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why didn't you just fucking tell him?
Right.
Like, she's She-Ra, we need to get her back.
Right. Like, hey, by the way, she's like an ultimate weapon. I'm gonna go do this, right?
Yeah, and instead she was being fucking shady as shit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, Shadow Weaver, shady. Here we go, in the shade. Damn. Fuck her. She's the worst.
She is the worst.
But we all knew that. So we have that. Catra's like, hey, you dumbass. What is this? We see eyes glowing in a vent. Who's there?
Who could it be?
Who could it be now?
Not anyone who's dead.
No. Why would I? Who could it be? Not a dead person. So we're back on Bright Moon. Glimmer's trying to reconnect and charge in the Moonstone Chamber. Bo is so nervous.
He's so worried about her.
Oh.
And it breaks my heart.
I know. Such a good friend.
In like a good way, though.
Oh, yeah, totally. And Bo is such a good friend.
Yes, absolutely. And Adora, I feel like she is too distracted trying to figure out what she did wrong and what she can do to even really comprehend what the hell is going on around her at Bright Moon right now.
Yup. And also is just being a dumb jock who's like, I can fix this with a sword. Good job, Adora. Maybe not. Maybe you can't fix it with a sword.
Good try, though.
Good try. A plus for effort. And Bo, so we see that doesn't hurt, help at all. The Moonstone makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
This part's great. So Angela flies up to the chamber to see what everyone's doing, the Moonstone Chamber, and the three of them do the cheesy, like, everything's fine face, where it's like, like the very cartoony people have their like hands on their,
we have our life together.
Yeah, exactly. We're cool. Their chin resting on their two fists. With like the anime eyes and stuff. Everything's fine because that's the, the theme of the episode.
But before that, when Adora sees that she's coming, her face of panic cracks me up every time. She's like, oh my god, guys, we have a problem.
Right? She looks so dopey.
The way that Glimmer shoos the like sparkles that are lingering around her, she's like, we can't let her see me like this, and she like shoos all the sparkles away. It gets me every time.
Yeah, because it's like they're smoking weed up there. It's like, fuck, no one's gonna notice,
Clear this out real quick.
Okay, take that, burn the Nag Chamba. Like, I got the toilet paper roll and I got the fabric softener thing over it. You can't smell it because it cancels it out. You just blow it out the window. That never worked.
A couple of Febreze hits after.
Febreze. Listeners, can you tell that Ashley and I were reprobates? Complete and total reprobates. But it is like that, it's like the don't let mom see, everything's fine, we got to cover this up. So Glimmer's like, no, cats and girls just recharge in private. And they were like, we're just leaving now. And, all Angie wants to do is talk to her kid.
I know, that kills me. Like, of all the lines, I feel like throughout the whole thing, that's the one that gets me with Angela. She's like, I just want to talk. Like, just have a conversation with me. I'm a lonely mom who doesn't have a husband anymore. You were gone for like days.
Right?
Just talk to me.
Just talk to God. Ugh. That kills me. Damn it, Glimmer. When are you going to have adult perspective like Ashley and I have?
Well, she does pretty good by the end of the series.
She does. So want to go back to the Fright Zone? Because I always want to go back to the Fright Zone.
100%.
Awesome. So we're kicking it with sweet baby Catra. They're hanging out with Scorpia, and they're doing a little bit of a walk and talk. And we're doing a little exposition. Hordak really let Shadow Weaver have it. Did you see the look on her face? Shadow Weaver.
And then my favorite Scorpia line of the entire episode, when she says, I think it's hard to tell with the mask and all, which I think is probably way more of a relatable quote than they ever thought it would be.
Huh.
But post-pandemic, I feel like...
Oh, shit.
Super hard to tell.
Yeah. That's true. Damn, I didn't even think about it like that. But yeah, it is kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see a little robo buddy following them. They don't pay attention,
Did you see Catra's ear? When Emily first shows up and she makes those little noises, her left ear, it would be the one on the right on the screen, it does a little flutter. Like, what is this?
Like a kitty? Aww.
Yeah, like a little kitty. I specifically wrote down Catra's ear.
Exclamation point. Yeah, because this part is this part right here. So Catra's saying, talking about how Shadow Weaver, stole her plan, but then she's, using her cat-like senses to detect. And then this is where it gets weird, because this is one of the few times, they kind of abandon this, going later into the seasons. But in the beginning of the show, in the first season, they do kind of lean a little bit more into that cat stuff. And she's literally on all fours, sniffing, being a cat. And I'm like, all right, do your thing, sweet baby Catra.
And so is Scorpia. She says, yep, that is concrete.
Yep. Yeah. In a total, I love the way that that's delivered, because it is also just maximum Scorpia as your totally awesome gym teacher. You're like,
yep.
Good job, team. Good hustle. Yep. Good hustle.
So supportive.
Yep.
So supportive. Yep. Yes, that is concrete. Yeah. You're onto something.
And Catra opens up the grate, and da-da-da-da.
Entrapta.
She's alive. She's very alive.
Mm-hmm. She's totally fine. She is having the time of her life.
Yeah, right? She's stoked. She just jumps out, hi!
Yeah. So then we go back to Bright Moon.
Oh, God. So this is probably one of the saddest things, the saddest parts of the episode, and one of the saddest character beats for Adora. So far.
Yes.
And it's delivered in the same way that so many of her traumatic, we've talked about, I think we talked about it in Shadows of Mysticor, when when you are so steeped in these types of situations that are so deeply traumatic, you normalize them. Mm-hmm. And when she's asked, hey, what do you do when you have a cold? Glimmer just asks us, hey, maybe I have a cold. I've never been sick before. So we learn that, Glimmer has an immortal mother, so she has a mutant healing factor. And what do you do when you have a cold? And Adora stands straight up like a soldier and says, remain out of sight.
Yes, without missing a beat.
Yep. And it's like, whoa.
And it's so heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking. And like...
And Amy, like what a good acting moment, too. The way that she reads the line, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the tone, her voice doesn't really break, but it kind of like softens in the middle of the word.
Yes.
And it's just like, it kills me every time.
It's so, because it is that like, you're right. It starts off with the like, what do you mean? And then ends with the like, did I do something wrong? You know?
Right.
And that's exactly what it is. And then she moves into the displays of physical weakness are strongly discouraged. And then she does the Adora thing where she like, it's her fault.
Right. Internalizes it.
Yep. And it's just like, but the way that it's delivered, you know, it's light, you know, like once again, Amy fucking crushing it here.
Yeah.
Like just, it's delivered in a way that's funny, but is layered and, so, oh God, Adora, what did they put you through? Horrible.
So much.
Oh God. So fucking sad. And then of course, you know, she's more like punch out your feelings guy, so she starts punching the fixtures, and you know, Bo comes in and is lovely.
Bo is really, really, in this scene in particular, he is trying so hard to hold it together for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, this scene and the scene later when we come back.
Mm-hmm.
Just really, really trying to like keep Adora focused and like comfort Glimmer and like hold everything all together. And I was like, wow, he really is the heart, isn't he?
He really is. Aw, and it's like right there. Aw. But he's definitely really exacerbated in this, and this is a really funny, it's another one of those parallel, you know, emotional like scenes where it's really funny, but it's really sad. And the balance of it is it's so well written and it's so well acted. The balance there is it's really marvelous. Like, you know, kudos to Marcus and to Karen and to Amy for just like acting the shit out of this scene. Like really, really well done. Because Glimmer, okay, so Bo's like going through the list, liquids, rest, soup, got it. That also sounds awesome. So Glimmer is like, cool, I'm going to take a nap. I'll be great. Because, you know, sleeping and soup. That's how you cure anything.
Absolutely.
That's how I've cured most things, is just sleeping and soup. But she can't teleport to her bed. Okay. All right. This bothers me. Because like I think it's in Raz, right? We see that there's like platforms.
Yeah. And she bounces up.
Yeah.
And they're not there anymore.
Like what the fuck?
What happened?
Right. There's like, did they disappear? Are they only there psychically? What the fuck is that? Like,
yeah.
Inconsistencies, people. Stay consistent with your plots.
Also, we have like a giant sword lady that's too consumed with trying to figure out how to fight with the sword over in the corner, then turn into a giant sword lady and put her friend up in her bed.
That is that's legit. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, good job, Adora.
Every time I see that scene, I'm like, Adora, you could help. Little old Bo is trying to like boost her up into her bed when you could probably just easily do it.
just like toss her up, you know. Just like Seahawk yeet her up there.
Yes, yeet her up into her nap.
Yeet her up into her nap. But like, okay, seriously though, like it's not like her like everything in the room isn't like luxurious and comfortable. And who doesn't love a good sick nap on the couch, right?
Right. Yeah.
A good nap on the couch. So wackiness ensues here, and then meanwhile, like you said, Adora's just being a sore dumbass, being the dumbest jock ever here. And Adora's like, this is getting worse. It's not going to run its course. You know, you need to be healed. And Glimmer's like, I'm fine. And Adora's like, look, you got sick because of dark magic. And, you know, we can heal you. You know, maybe I can heal you. She-Ra healed the trees in Plumeria. And Bo was like, not really, dude. And and then Adora's like, well, she fixed the Seagate.
And Bo says, well, Glimmer's not a piece of machinery. And you don't know how to fully control She-Ra's powers yet.
Yeah.
Which is like, ouch.
Yeah. And Adora's like, takes that as a challenge.
Yeah.
And of course, so does Glimmer. Glimmer's like, hey, that's great. Shira's gonna fix me. We'll be fine. How hard can it be? Once again, doing the thing where Glimmer's like, yeah, Shira can do it. How hard can it be for somebody else to do this incredibly difficult thing that no one can actually ever do?
And Bo's like, did anyone hear a word I just said?
Right? And of course, Adora just jocks right in there, for the honor of Grayskull, blah. And Bo's just like, oh, my friend is such a lesbian disaster. So we're back at the Fright Zone, which always makes me happy. And Entrapta
gives no fucks.
No, she does not care. She's like, cool, I'm here, fine. Like, she's using her hair to unlock. She's trying to, like, hack open the, her wrist, which is fucking
shackles.
Great. And Catra comes in all puffed up and is like, prisoner. Scorpia is like, once again, that friend of yours that just, like, you know.
Completely oblivious.
Well, that's Entrapta. Good hustle, kids. Like,
Catra's like, I know her fucking name, Scorpia. God damn it.
Catra's totally that friend. Jesus Christ, shut up. I really, every time Scorpia says something this episode, I just want to have her go, good hustle, kids, good hustle.
Yes.
I love it. So Catra's like, shut the fuck up, I know her name. And then she's like, ugh, you know what? No one appreciates setting a good scene around here. And then it's like, Hordak, and then Hordak, said that I have to interrogate you, so, and then it's trying to be puffed up and tough, and I don't buy it. Yeah. I super don't buy it.
I don't care what it takes. Yeah. I'm going to get the truth out of you. And Entrapta is just like, what do you want to know?
Oh, and she grabs the taser and is like, cool, I want to play with this. It totally throws at Catra out. Because, like, the best way to, like, kind of... I've been in tough situations with people before, and I found that the most practical, like, the best way to get out of that situation is to totally fry their circuits by being the weirdest person possible.
Yes.
Like, I've avoided being mugged before by just, like, throwing my bag on the ground and started screaming and talking to myself.
Yeah.
It's, like... You just have to be fucking weird. You fry their circuits. They don't know what to do. So, and that's kind of... But Entrapta just does that. She's like, oh, cool, what's this? Yes. Gives no fucks. Like, picks up the taser. Like, totally fries Catra's circuits.
And it's completely natural. That's just, like, part of who she is. Which is, I just fucking love it so much.
I know. She's the best. I love her. So she fucking fires the weapon. Ceiling starts to collapse in. Scorpia, like... just wraps Catra up and protects her, and
gay moment number one.
It's a pretty gay moment. It's gayest moment number one nominee from both of us. We all know that you all know that we know that we kind of know that sometimes I know, but most of the time we both know. AKA gayest moment, and that is sweet baby Scorpia using her exoskeleton, wrapping Catra up in it to protect her quote unquote best friend from being completely crushed to death by rocks.
Her favorite gal pal.
Just two gals being pals. Good hustle, Scorpia. Good hustle.
And then we get, why were you hiding in the Fright Zone? And, Entrapta just tells her, like, oh, I was here with my friends. I got lost. I get lost sometimes. I figured I'd make it easy by just staying exactly where I am. They're going to come back and get me. And the line delivery of... they left you. And the way that her face falls, I'm like, for that split second right before the manipulation starts, she identifies and feels horrible for Entrapta. And you can tell by that one line and that one shot. And it's so short that I had to rewind it 2 or 3 times and watch it back because it's just a small little clip of her saying that, and you get to see her face drop. And it's just like... yeah. And she gets it. And she turns that straight around and uses it.
Yep, because, you don't show weakness in the Horde. But I have that written down too. And she does also start to do the Catra thing where she over-identifies, but, like, that is actually, I completely agree. It is a moment of empathy and it is a moment of tenderness. And, Entrapta's like, no, they're going to come back. And then I love this part when, she just gets out of the fucking shackle. She does not care. There are no fucks given. She just, like, unhooks herself and is like, oh, hey, my friends, they're my friends. They'll be back. And she gets out. She goes up to Scorpia. Like, she's walking around at this point, and everyone's like, what? And she's like, oh, your tail secretes some kind of paralyzing agent. Could I have a sample to study? And I'm like,
and grabs her tail.
And grabs her tail, and Scorpia's like, you cannot touch another woman's tail without asking, which I also had as kind of a gay moment, too.
I also had counterpoint, perhaps, maybe don't go around hugging everybody non-consensually if you don't want other people to non-consensually touch your body, Scorpia.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Scorpia does kind of have a problem with physical boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And while it is a bit more on the benign side than others can be, it is still problematic. Like, ask someone if you want to hug them. It's not that hard. So here's another one of my gayest moments. So Catra goes in for the manipulation and starts to like definitely do. This is some like femme fatale villain stuff, right? Like she goes in and starts playing on the sensuality of the situation, where she starts like, you know, wringing her fingers through Entrapta's hair and not paying it, like looking off and just being like, you know, like a cat. Like she's teasing her prey like a cat right now, which is what she knows how to do. She's not going to go in with a laser and be like, shut up, I got this, I'm tough. She's going to go in and tease her prey like a cat, and like a cat get the prey to do what they want before she strikes. So she goes in and she teases and she's like, they left you behind and they're not coming back. And then of course it's fucking Catra. So she like, you know, personalized. He like takes it way too seriously and is like, isn't that just like Adora? She left me behind too. And we're like, we get it, dude. You know, like I was nothing. And then Scorpia, of course.
That was 8 episodes ago, Catra. Get over it.
Get over it. That was 8 whole episodes ago. Damn. Your girlfriend dumped you. Move on.
So she pulls out her recorder to see what hour it is. And it's hour 45, which is too many hours.
Too many hours. The angry feline person seems to be correct.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Entrapta.
And she says it was hard to tell in the walls.
Oh.
Which threw me back to Buffy Restless.
Yes.
With Joyce in the walls.
Yeah.
And so like she was just, as soon as she said it was hard to tell in the walls, my brain said, a mouse is tickling my knees.
She's learning how to play Mahjong. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, Buffy.
And then freaking Catra wipes Entrapta's tear with her tail. Gayest moment nomination.
Oh, that is gay. Oh, that's like kind of sexy.
Yeah, she's like walking away from her and swipes the tear away with her tail as she walks by.
Damn, Catra. All right, that's hot. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty hot. Because Catra's got that swag, right? And she just like...
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, girl.
It was so smooth.
Fuck. Okay, dude. And Catra is like, you know, you don't have to pretend you're something you're not with us. And that's kind of true. Like, Catra sees her for her value, but doesn't have expectations about her having to be anything other than herself. She's like, and you see that. She's like, you want to be your weird self? Cool. What do you need me to get you? Like, you do you. Like, yeah, you're useful to us. But it was the same thing with the Rebellion. They were like, Entrapta is useful to us. You know?
Right.
But they were kind of...
Except for they were judgmental about it the whole time.
Exactly. Whereas they're in the Horde, they're like, dude, you want to be a weird nerd? Come play. We want that. We love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Entrapta's like, I've made more progress on my work in secret than my whole non-secret life out there. And, you know, she's like in love with the tech. She built a robot friend. And we get to meet Emily. Oh.
And she busts through like the goddamn Kool-Aid man.
Oh, I have that written down too. I'm like, Emily says, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bust through like the fucking Kool-Aid man. Only instead of Kool-Aid, it's lasers. Oh my god. And then sweet baby Scorpia, once again, protecting Catra. I got you.
I got you. That was another gay moment for me.
Pretty much all of the moments with Scorpia
are
pretty fucking gay.
And Catra's like, they have no idea who they have left here in the damn Fright Zone.
Yep.
And they don't.
They don't.
They really don't. Because they never took the time to really get to know her.
Yep, and
or what she was capable of, truly.
Yo, and she fucks shit up. She fucks up the planet.
Yeah. She's smart as fuck.
She's smart as fuck. I watched ahead to the Battle of Bright Moon, and like, that episode's intense, and Entrapta's just like, hee hee, I broke the world, hee hee. Right. And I'm like, damn, dude. But
yeah, they do, like, Bo does, and obviously Bo was, like, closer to her the whole series, but there's a moment when she thinks that she can unchip everybody just from her computer, and Bo's like, Entrapta, you're a genius. Keep working on it. I'm gonna go do this. And I'm like, finally, someone is like, and it's the last few episodes.
Yep.
It's like, finally, someone is recognizing and, like, appreciating what she can bring to the table.
Yep.
Like, it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings about the way that Entrapta is treated, which we have talked about.
We absolutely have talked about. And, she's awesome. I love Entrapta. But now we go back to Bright Moon, where we see our completely dumb-ass protagonist of the show, right? Like, we have, like, the most brilliant person on Etheria, like, you know, it's like, I built a robot in the walls, in the dark, and then we have, our hero being, like, shoving a sword in her best friend's face, saying words that are She-Ra-like, It's...
And she, like, the way that she says heal Glimmer is very, like, whale soundy, like, heal Glimmer.
It's so good. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And Bo's like, hey, no, sharp objects.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, Glimmer escalates and is like, why don't you point it at me? And Bo's like, let's not point sword at our friends. And of course... Adora's a dumbass, and Glimmer's like, maybe a jab or a strike, and Bo's like, do you want to get hit with a sword?
And also, like, when this scene very first starts, we get, like, just a quick little glimpse of Bo sitting by the window, and every muscle in his body is tense.
Yes, he's like, and he has his hands like folded, and he's like,
yes, yeah. He is like completely uncomfortable.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, he is deeply uncomfortable. So and he's just like, it's because he's not like, my friends are dumb. He's like, my friends are like, oh my god, my friends are fatally
gonna hurt
dumb.
each other.
Yeah. So Bo's like, am I the only one that cares about sword safety?
That line specifically, no, not that line. At the end, when he says, sword safety, after she throws it, Marcus Scribner, chef's kiss.
Oh, right, so good.
Such an amazing delivery.
So good. And I love how his voice cracks. I mean, that's, the actor, but like the crack of the voice just like pushes it over the top. It's so good.
It's perfect.
Oh, but She-Ra's like, I think it's working. The sword's glowing. And then
Glimmer like buys into it. She's like, yep. Yes, I'm definitely feeling it. Yep.
And then Dora just throws the sword. Then we have the voice cracking, and it is the dumbest shit. And then we go back to the fright zone.
And Scorpia's fixing the hole in the wall that Emily made. She's like, I don't think anybody will notice, really. And the bricks start falling back out.
I love that. She's like, well, hold on, let me go get my tool belt and I'll be able to fix this one right up, the gym teacher that, fixes the basketball hoop.
Yeah.
Climbs up there. She's like, don't worry, I'll be good as new in a second, okay? And you're like, all right. Cool, sounds good. And I love that this is the thing, growing up, you see it all the time in animation where, like, part of his background painting and you know exactly what's happened because, like, the shading is different. So, this is the part that's going to be animated, so something's going to happen.
Right.
Like the shading's a little bit different on the bricks that continuously fall out because obviously Scorpia is not rebuilding the wall. Because, she's trying. She's really putting in a good effort. Good hustle, Scorpia. Good hustle.
Good job.
Good job. Good hustle, but it's not working. And Catra's like, and Entrapta's like, sorry about the wall. And Catra's like, do not worry about this. Like, this is cool. You did some really cool shit. Like, and is recognizing there is truth to this. Like, she's legit like, I'm fucking impressed. Like, you did all this shit while living in the vents? Like, this is nuts. And Entrapta's like, oh yeah, totally. She keeps, I love the visual gag of Entrapta just coming out of the shackles like it's nothing, coming down. And then when, like, Catra looks at her, like, she just, like, goes back in and is like, I mean, oops.
Ooh, my bad. And she says, which hair piece was in the which thingy?
I love it.
Like, how can I get back in this correctly?
Right, because I'm doing this thing. And this is when Entrapta introduces the Horde to First One's tech. Hordak doesn't know about it, right? We're under the impression Hordak does not know that there's First One's tech here.
I guess that they don't know any of them, right? And it's episode 10, which is, like, later in the first season, I would think, than I was expecting. Because I wrote down, like, it's episode 10 and Catra doesn't know what First One's tech is. Yeah. But then, I mean, I guess Adora just found out 9 episodes ago. So
That's true. So we learn, Entrapta does a little exposition bomb here about what First One's tech is. If they could get her some, she would be able to kick all of the ass. And Catra is like, where do we find it? And Entrapta is like, I know how to find it. I've been tracking signals. There's a massive stash somewhere. And Catra has the little anime sparkly eyes.
Completely loses her cool.
Yep. And is like...
She's like, where? And then she takes a second, calms herself down and says, I mean, where?
Yeah, like, I'm cool.
I don't care.
Hair flip,
Yeah. Lights a cigarette.
Yeah, lights a cigarette. She's having her Sandy at the end of Grease moment. Tell me about it, stud.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I love how Entrapta is, like, when she gets excited, her hair is hands here. It's a lot. The scene where her hair turns into hands, and it's really fun. So she hands, Catra, like, the tracker pad. It's her. She gives her iPad, and it's like, I built this app, like. Find it, and Catra has no idea how to use it.
With this app, you can locate other friends of Mara.
Yeah. Oh. Yo, we need to write... I mean, I know that there are, like, specifically, like, queer dating apps, but, like, Friends of Mara as a dating app, that would be pretty righteous.
Yeah.
Should do that and be like, find single She-Ra fans in your area, But yeah, so Catra's like...
She's like, this is fantastic. Hordak's gonna finally realize that I'm better than Shadow Weaver.
Scorpia's like, what comes after Force Captain? So that's actually good. Like, we know Force Captain's a super high fucking rank. It's like a commander. Like, it is an elite thing. So far we've only seen Force Captain Scorpia, right? Force Captain Catra. Adora was a Force Captain. And then, do we see Octavia yet?
I think we did.
Okay, so we have Force Captain
Or maybe we just heard about.
Yes.
Maybe we just heard her name. I don't think we've actually seen her yet until the next episode.
But she's a Force Captain, so she's Force Captain Octavia. But that's all we know for who Force Captains are, right?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, because we see other people that are, like, higher ranks than the cadets, but we don't see them as Force Captains. I guess until... Is it Remember when... There's the blue dude is giving the Force... You see a room full of Force Captains there in Remember. Because they have Force Captain... Because there has to be enough for there to be an orientation, right?
Right.
But it sounds like it's a pretty... Like, it's not... I don't know.
Like, there's not a ton of them. There's not 100 Force Captains.
Right.
There's, like, 6.
Right, exactly. But there's, there are those 6, and they probably have, like, sub Force Captains or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think they ever really explained.
Team leads.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Lonnie is a team lead.
Yeah, totally. Lonnie's project manager of her triad.
Project manager Lonnie.
Yeah, every triad needs a project manager. Yeah, so Catra's like, I don't know if I trust her, but you know what? She knows shit, and she's enthusiastic.
She's like, it's worth a shot. Yeah. I'm gonna go check this out and see what's up.
And then Entrapta's like, oh, sorry, my bad, going back up. So, and then we go back to Bright Moon, where, Adora is beating herself up. It's like, what good am I if I can't even heal one princess? And, Angela comes in and pulls rank.
How often do you think she pulls Queen card? But based on the way that Bo reacts.
Yeah. I don't think it's like an all the time thing, you know?
Yeah.
I think she's pulled it a couple, like she pulled it in the first episode where she's like Commander Glimmer, but like that was also like, you know, set up as a comedic misdirect, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like in terms of like her like pulling like the queen card, I don't think that's something she does.
Yeah. Because Bo's like freaked out by
It's
it.
like, yo, your mom's pulling the queen card. You gotta go do this.
We fucked up.
No, we fucked up. I love that. Yeah, Bo is just like, we fucked up. And of course, the entire time Adora is still She-Ra. Like, she's like sitting there just being like, how could I do this? Bo's right. I don't have to use, I don't know how to use my powers. And Adora was like, you know what? The Horde was right about training. I'm gonna go. This is probably one of my favorite part of the episode. There's this place Madame Ra showed me. It's some sort of a beacon, thus saying the title of the episode, The Beacon. And then I'm gonna learn my She-Ra powers, and then I'm gonna heal Glimmer. And then Glimmer's like, great, I can come with you. And she's like, no, I have to do this on my own. And that dumb motherfucker jumps out the window. She just like, no thoughts, head empty, jumps out the window.
She goes for it.
Yeah, that is like some like peak Gryffindor shit right there, right? She's just like, hold my beer, I got this, jumps out the fucking window like, ugh. Like,
and Bo's got her beer, and he makes sure that she lands okay.
Yeah. He's like, I got your beer, dude. You're good.
Yeah.
She good. And it's just like,
you hear like some trees ruffle and like a and then he's like, she's okay.
So dumb. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the entire show, because it's just like, okay, I'll do this. Plunk. It's like, oh my God. There's a running theory, and I don't remember if Noelle kind of confirmed it or was like, this is definitely something that came to mind, but there's like a kind of a maybe canon thing that Adora has ADHD.
I mean, that would fucking track as
right?
Someone with ADHD.
Yeah, like both of us are like, it's the impulse. It's like, this is a great idea. Here's a solution. Jump out the window.
Right.
Like,
go for it.
Let's do it. And it's not like I'm not thinking it through. It's like, all of the thoughts just came to you at once and you can't filter them, so you're just going to go do it and then, figure it out as you go.
Exactly. Yep.
So Adora dumbasses out the window, and we go back to the fright zone, and Catra's packing up her bag. I love Catra. This is the backpack that Catra has in Failsafe and Heart, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute. I love it.
It's adorable.
I love it. It's a little cute, little green square, little knapsacky, little like European schoolboy, like
like get that shit fucking buttons together.
Yes, it's one of those fancy ones that buttons together. Has a sleeve for the tracker pad,
Yep.
Like, it's dope. It's a good looking backpack. Probably, she could probably fit like some I don't know, some trail mix and a Nalgene and her keys.
In her journal, because I don't care what anyone says, Catra has a fucking journal.
Yo, Catra totally has a journal. Oh man, because in high school, Catra definitely listened to My Chemical Romance, and
100%,
right? Like Catra was like that angry emo kid who's like, I love Black Parade more than my life. So Catra takes her notebook and her, puts her My Chemical Romance shirt on and goes into the woods. No, Catra's like, I gotta lead on this big thing, so Shadow Weaver catches her. She's trying to sneak out of the house, and Catra's like, I'm not gonna tell you shit. I don't have to talk to you ever. Remember last time you stole my idea? Didn't really work out. Well, this one's gonna be better, and you ain't gonna steal it. And Shadow Weaver's trash. She's totally thrashed. She's not doing great. And Catra, it hits Catra, right? It hits her in the feels, because even though Shadow Weaver is her abuser, there's still she was her mom,
right?
That is her major the person that raised her and emotional support. And so she kind of she gets tender, she's like, don't worry about it. I've got loads of being yelled at, mostly by you. You get used to it. Fucking Shadow Weaver, man. Like,
being the fucking bitch that she is.
Right, she's such a bitch. She's like, I will not get used to mediocrity, and I certainly don't need your pity. And then does, like, this really classic, like, it's a classic, like, abuser maneuver. Like, I was hard on you. I won't apologize. I wanted you to be strong. I want you to prepare you for the world. Like, building, like, somebody's emotional callus by, is the thing that makes them, like, good enough to face the world. And it's like, that is so in line with the stuff we were talking about in Shadows of Mysticor, and we've continued to talk about regarding Shadow Weaver displaying the characteristics of a narcissistic parent. And Catra's like, well, fuck you. I'm strong now.
Yeah, she pops right back.
Yeah, right? She just pops back.
She pops right back. She's like, well, guess what? I don't fucking need you anyway, so goodbye.
Yeah, so go fuck off. I'm trying to be nice to you. You suck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go do me. And then we kind of cut back to Bright Moon, and
I have a note about this cut.
Yeah, let's hear it.
My note is just big old gaping vagina window.
So we go head first in the big old gape. Wait, is that the one that Adora jumped into?
Yeah, she jumped out of. Yeah. It's just like
that tracks.
It's vagina shaped.
Yeah, no.
And the way that there's a clit and everything. I paused it and stared at it for a good minute and was like, "This is a vagina."
Yeah. You're like, I paused it, I stared at it for a good minute, I had thoughts. And I guess that makes sense why Adora just jumped headfirst into it. So.
Right. She's like, this feels natural.
Yeah, this is the right thing to do. Oh, this is...
Oh, this is nice. I like
this. This is nice. I like this. Meanwhile, back in Bright Moon.
Through the vagina window,
Bo and Glimmer are having biffle time. And, Bo's just talking about how it's his fault. And if he hadn't gone with Perfuma, they wouldn't have been separated. And Glimmer's like, no, it's my fault. And they're like, Bo, I love this interaction. Bo's like, you can't be sorry when I'm trying to be sorry. And Glimmer's like, yes, but your sorry is wrong and mine is right. That is such a Glimmer thing to say.
Yes.
But it's like full of love.
And like, this is how grief hits, right? Like everyone's thinking about their actions, what they could have done differently.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Adora, her tendencies, it hit her a little quicker maybe than them as far as like as intensely in her verbalizing it, and it's now getting to the point where they're verbalizing it because they've been thinking about it for so long. And I just feel like that's so like no, it's so normal.
Yeah, it is. And like, these poor kids. This isn't even the beginning of the trauma they're going to go through. Fuck.
And in the very beginning of this scene, I have a very important note.
Yes, please. Let's hear it.
When Bo's standing up and he's saying, listen, Glimmer, I appreciate you trying, but you can't protect me anymore, and we have to tell your mom. It's just so quick. It's specifically him talking in that moment. Behind him, on the wall, there is like targets for them to hit when they're practicing, and one of them, instead of being a traditional target, is like an angry monster thing.
Oh.
It's like, and it's got like cuts all over it, and it's so cute. And listeners, I have dedicated my right arm to, I call it my spooky arm.
Oh.
And I'm only getting spooky tattoos on it, and I immediately was like, I should get this creepy monster poster as a tattoo.
Is that your She-Ra tattoo? Are you thinking about getting a couple more?
I want a Scorpia tattoo. If anybody out there listening wants to design a Scorpia tattoo for me, I'm open to it.
Y'all, you should do this. If you have a design for a Scorpia tattoo for producer Ashley, friend of Mara, please send it to heyadoracast@gmail.com.
Yeah. But I just loved, I thought that the poster was just so cute, and it was very cut up. Like they clearly have chucked their swords and things at that many a time based on how many cuts were on it. And it was just adorable, and I loved it.
Oh, I love that. I will definitely have to go back and check that out. And also the, the vagina window.
Yes.
But so here's where we find out that, they love each other. They're like, you know what? Screw this. Let's just hug it out. They love each other. And Glimmer, starts to glitch out, and it passes into Bo. And
he says, it hurts so much.
It hurts so much.
And she just grazes right on past that. She's like, oh, as soon as it's over, she doesn't even care that he...
Right? She's like, my mom.
She's just like, whatever, my mom. Yeah, no, oops, sorry, are you okay? Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like, oh, fuck my mom. Let's
Glimmer.
start And I love that, not unlike our dear friend Seahawk, her idea is to start a fire in the castle.
Just a small one.
Just a small one. And, Glimmer, I'm going to go out on a limb here. And Ashley, please correct me if you think I'm being a little too cautious with this, but I don't think that's a good idea.
I can't correct you because, as I said earlier, I think I am Glimmers.
Okay, you've done this before.
I was like, yeah, just a little bit of fire. That'll work.
What could possibly go wrong? I'm going to start a fire. It's like, there's a Simpsons, an old Simpsons joke where, everybody's like, maybe we can solve this with fire. Oh, what else can we do? I know, fire. And it's like, no, not fire. Or Jason Mendoza, right, from The Good Place, who's like, Molotov cocktails.
Yes.
Whenever I get into trouble, I throw a Molotov cocktail, and then boom, I got new trouble. That is not the exact quote, but yeah, it's a very Jason Mendoza understanding of the world. Folks, also watch The Good Place. It is one of the best shows ever made. It is the right amount of incredibly stupid and incredibly smart.
It is a fantastic show.
Fantastic show. So now we got Adora as She-Ra walking through the woods, looking for this beacon. She's lost in the woods. She's like, oh, this looks familiar because I passed it an hour ago. She marks it, classic, marks the trail, continues to march gaily forward throughout the Whispering Woods, trying to find the beacon. We get back to Bright Moon, where I love this line. So they're having dinner, and Angie's like, I gave the staff the night off so it could be us, and I made your favorite. And then she's like, well, I mean, I didn't make it. I had the kitchen make it. And it's just like, it's just like,
her cute little backtrack.
Yeah, I made your favorite. Here's a pizza. I made your favorite. I ordered a pizza. You know what I mean? Or I made your favorite Chinese takeout. And it's like, that is my favorite. But I love that. And she's just trying to have a little mom time. She's super concerned, with good reason, about her child.
Yeah, and Glimmer is just checked out.
Yeah, well, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. Glimmer's fine. Glimmer's fine.
Angela's like, we've hardly had a chance to talk since you have gotten back. And Glimmer's just like, well, not much to talk about. And the way that she delivers it is just like, such a slap. Again, this is being an adult, I guess, but such a slap in the face.
Yep. And Angela's like, are you fucking serious? You were kidnapped, you lost a friend, and you escaped. And then they really get into this is such a mom fight, right?
Yeah, and a breakthrough moment.
Mm-hmm. Because Glimmer's like, I get it, I failed.
This is a real breakthrough.
Right. We see that Glimmer's internalizing it and is like, I failed as a commander and as a daughter. She's seeing she's failing in both places. And she's like, that's not what I'm, and then glitch. And she does not.
And this is such a sad moment, but I can't help but laugh that that Angela just screams, stop, make it stop, as if Glimmer's doing it to herself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's of course she would react that way, but also she would obviously make it stop if she could.
Totally.
I don't know. It just makes me giggle.
No, totally. And it is that, it's panic, right? It's raw panic. And this is what really pushes Glimmer, over the top. Don't yell at me. I've messed up. I'm a disappointment.
And she shoves Angela.
Yeah.
Like, pretty hard.
Yeah. And then, like, this is the big dramatic reveal. Entrapta died trying to rescue me. The Princess Alliance is over. Shadow Weaver fucked me up. I'm sorry I can't be perfect like you. You don't know what it's like to be a screw-up. And Angela just jumps right back. And it's just like, this is pushing both of their buttons. And she's like, I don't know how you feel. I got your father killed.
I think this might have been the first time she's ever said that out loud.
It feels like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like it. She did say earlier, I believe in an earlier episode, that she led the attack that got Glimmer's father killed, but she never said it from a place of, like, yelled it from a place of guilt out loud.
Right. And not saying that she led the attack, but saying, I
did it.
Micah killed. Yeah, I got him killed. The way that they do her face in that scene is very much like, oh shit, I said it out loud.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I kind of got that impression too. I'm glad that we kind of, like, came to that as well. So, and then, you know, Angela comes back down to earth and is like, relaxes and is like, oh, I ordered the battle that your father perished in. I've never forgiven myself. And Glimmer says, I didn't know that. So maybe it's the first time she said it out loud, but maybe not, like...
Right. Yeah. It seems like it's probably never come up, especially if Glimmer was, like, super young when it happened. She's probably never asked too many questions about the bureaucratics of the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She knows he died in a battle, but, like...
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, she doesn't. That's true. So they're, you know, they both have their guilt, they both have their trauma, they both have their shame about losing somebody, and Glimmer's, of course, is manifesting in her powers just literally glitching out. And then she says, why wouldn't you tell me you were sick? I was ashamed. I acted without thinking. I did everything that you asked me to. I teleported right into a trap. The alliance is over, and I'm to blame.
And she says, when she says that she acted without thinking, she says the exact thing you're always getting on to me about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to give Angela a little bit of clue into, you know, buttons she's been pushing that she didn't know she was pushing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so nice to be older and have this perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
So we have the parallel here of, like, you know, this is a parallel that we see drawn for a lot through the first season of Shadow Weaver bad mom, Angela good mom, where, you know, mm-hmm. Angela is not a pushover. She has her push and pull with her kid, but she's not being hard on Glimmer, or hard to Glimmer, I guess I should say. Like, you know, Shadow Weaver's abusive, right? She's not doing it to make Glimmer strong, you know? Like, she's very worried about her, and sometimes that manifests in a little bit more controlling. Mm-hmm. But it's not for her own gain, you know, or glory, like it is with Shadow Weaver. It's because she genuinely loves and worries about her child, who's a hothead and a commander of the armed forces of Bright Moon.
Yeah.
And, like...
and she's just trying to keep her safe.
She's just trying to keep her safe. And she's not trying to, like, make her tough. She's trying to keep her safe. You know, and she also deals with her own shit, too, you know? Like, just like Shadow Weaver is just evil, who I'm sure has her own reasons why she's a horrible person. Angela's also dealing with her own stuff about, like, she has her guilt. Her alliance fell apart because she failed. And Glimmer's like, you feel like a failure? And then Angela kind of says a different thing than what, you know, Shadow Weaver said to Catra. Angela's like, don't make the same mistake that I did. Instead of, I did this to make you strong. It's very much like,
mm-hmm.
So we're like, you feel like a failure, you know, they kind of like, they bond over it. Don't make the same mistake I did. It's essentially like, I believe in you. There's the rebellion done. With my daughter in charge, not a chance. She's like, we'll figure it out together. I know.
It's such a good moment.
It's such a good moment. This is when they both stop saying, I'm fine. You know, so everybody's vulnerable here. Everybody is recognizing and verbalizing that, no, indeed, they are not fine, but they will be better, and they'll work it out together. Then we go back to the Whispering Woods, and then we do some nice parallel cuts here between She-Ra, Adora, and Catra. Oh, what's this? Will their paths cross? Catra's kind of stalking in, following her magical iPad, her Friends of Mara app. Adora's just like walking around being like, I can find this, I'm fine. She's, she's lost. Catra's lost. Catra throws a fit, throws her iPad, can't find anybody on her Friends of Mara app. She should have known better than to trust a princess. Gee, Catra.
Yeah, my notes just say, Adora, smash rock! Catra, smash trackpad!
I don't even think there's anything symbolic there. It's just how these two crazy kids just deal with shit, right?
I mean, it's the Horde, right? Anyone in the Horde would just smash something when they got frustrated, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
Except maybe Scorpia, who just says, I've had a real challenge of a day!
It's true.
Yeah.
Sweet baby's gym teacher Scorpia. And then, Catra starts to feel weird in the woods. And then Adora's yelling to the spirits of the forest or whoever the fuck. And, She-Ra is. And then she's like, just let me fix this. Much more like, I can't let anyone else get hurt. Adora fixing everything Adora. And she was like, fine, you want me to be weak? I'm weak. I'm afraid. I'm no good at this. I don't know any of this. She stops saying she's fine as well.
And she throws her sword away.
Yep. She's vulnerable. She makes herself vulnerable, which is the exact opposite of what Perfuma said in the beginning of the episode.
Yep.
We are learning that Perfuma was wrong.
And the exact opposite of the, rest of the show.
Of the rest of the show. Exactly. And this is, we're kind of getting back on track with what the meaning of the show is, right? It's about love and friendship. And, once you can rely on others, I guess in this case, the magic of the woods, I don't know what this part means, but it is very much, everybody stops saying they're fine. And when everybody stops saying they're fine, their path opens up to them.
Yeah.
So, she finally looks up. There's a light. She goes to the beacon. Catra, meanwhile, is wrestling with her iPad. The fucking app stopped working, but then she there's a massive shaft of light. She sees it and is like, or we could go here.
And she sees Adora.
And she sees Adora
walking into it.
Yep. And so we see Catra jump up in stalking position, very much once again like a cat, ready to pounce on her prey, looking down, snarls. And this is my gayest moment because A, it's Catra and everything she does is the gayest thing ever. And she just goes, hey, Adora. And then credits.
Yep. The perfect fucking ending.
Fucking perfect ending. Gay.
And Promise is next.
Which, my heart, my beautiful, broken.
I know.
I love that episode so much. I know. It's heartbreaking. I know. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Meff.
What did we learn today?
Boy, we learned a lot. We
Yeah?
learned not to hold in our feelings and our trauma, but to actually process it and allow others to help us process it.
That's a really important lesson.
Super important. And I feel like as someone who's about to be 30, I'm just now learning that. So thanks, Cartoon, for prepping the next gen.
Thanks, Cartoon, for making healthy children make healthy choices about their emotional well-being.
Yes.
I love that. That's a hell of a lesson.
We also learned that if you ever can have a giant scorpion lady friend, she will protect you at all costs.
All costs. Well, folks, if you liked what you heard and you want to glitch out with us, you can like and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix. You can also email us at heyadoracast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at heyadoracast. I have been making Spotify playlists for each episode. This week's playlist, The Beacon, is available on Spotify right now. You can find the link in the show notes or by visiting us at heyadora.gay. And remember, queer joy is radical.
And queer love saves the universe.
Woo!